Chapter 1: The Strategic Gamble. The Allied landings at Anzio on January 22, 1944, represented one of the most ambitious and controversial amphibious operations of World War II, conceived as a bold flanking maneuver to break the stalemate at the heavily fortified German winter line south of Rome. The operation, codenamed Shingle, emerged from the strategic frustrations of the Italian campaign, where Allied forces had become bogged down in costly frontal assaults against well-prepared German defensive positions that took advantage of Italy's mountainous terrain and harsh winter weather conditions. The genesis of Operation Shingle lay in the broader strategic debates among Allied commanders about how to maintain pressure on German forces while preparing for the long-awaited invasion of northwestern Europe. Prime Minister Winston Churchill had been a persistent advocate for aggressive action in the Mediterranean theater, viewing the Italian campaign not merely as a secondary front, but as an opportunity to strike at what he famously called the soft underbelly of Nazi-occupied Europe. Churchill's strategic vision encompassed both immediate military objectives and longer-term political considerations about post-war influence in southern and eastern Europe. The planning phase for Anzio revealed fundamental disagreements among Allied commanders about the operation's scope, objectives, and relationship to other military operations in Italy. General Harold Alexander, commanding the 15th Army Group, initially envisioned a relatively modest landing force that would establish a beachhead and then advance rapidly inland to cut German supply lines and force a withdrawal from the winter line. However, the limited availability of landing craft and naval support, much of which was being reserved for the upcoming Normandy invasion, constrained the operation's size and ambitions from the outset. The selection of Anzio as the landing site reflected careful analysis of Italy's western coastline and the strategic geography of the approaches to Rome. The small port town of Anzio and the nearby resort community of Nettuno offered several advantages, including relatively flat terrain suitable for rapid movement inland, proximity to major road networks leading to Rome, and beaches capable of supporting large-scale amphibious landings. However, the same geographic features that made Anzio attractive for an amphibious assault also made it vulnerable to German counterattacks once the element of surprise was lost. The force composition for Operation Shingle reflected the competing demands on Allied resources in early 1944, with the 6th Corps under Major General John Lucas.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?